Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today we're going to be discussing a piece of software that people are using for PlayStation repairs in the repair community. One of the things that I like about the repair community in general is that it is way more open now than it was when I started doing this in 2008 or 2009. People are often happy to share information with each other, and above all, we like giving people back a sense of freedom. Not just the freedom to be able to repair things, but also for customers to feel like they have freedom to be able to actually say that they own what they bought and paid for. And one of the things that makes me the saddest of all is not even when a company takes that freedom away. It's when people from within our own community do that, which is something that I believe to be unfortunate. And what I'd like to do with this video is inform you about this thing that I believe to be unfortunate. Before we get into the topic of today's video, though, what I'd like to go over is a little bit of my philosophy on software, media, content, anything like that in general. This is not a prop that I have over here. This is a box of software that I purchased when I was 12 years old that I used. This was $80 back in 2002. When you adjust for inflation in normal dollars, okay, maybe like $160 now. When you adjust for inflation from a 12-year-old to a 35-year-old, this might as well have been $10,000. I had to wash 80 bikes to do this because back then I used to wash your bike with a rag and a sponge and the hose for $1. So there was a lot of work that went into this. And to buy something that essentially I could download for free. Or as I believe Richard Stallman would say, hopefully I'm not misquoting him, I'm happy to pay for software as long as it's free. When I have discussed alternative means of obtaining media in the past and why some people may want to use them, I'm not doing it from the standpoint of you should not pay for what you find valuable. I have paid for what I find valuable since I was 12 years old. If something provides me with value, I'm happy to give you money, whether my salary is $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or like $40 a month because I'm washing bikes as a 12-year-old. I believe in paying for that which provides you value. I do not believe that people who provide you with value, whether it's entertainment or productivity, shouldn't be paid for it. However, I do believe that you should have some level of autonomy and freedom with the software that you choose to use. And that's the big issue that we're going to be going over today, which is the complete lack of autonomy for people that use this particular piece of software. This is called BwE software, and one of the problems that I've been getting emails about for the past 6 months is the sheer degree to which this software monitors what you're doing with it, and then the owner of it bans you for no reason. If anybody who's in the console modding community knew what I was talking about before they even hit start on the video, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of this psychotic shit that I've been reading for the past several days, and then I'm going to show you an email chain with one of my best friends, Jessa Jones, who I used to teach with back in 2015. She's been my best friend since 2014. We've known each other for 10 years, and I just thought I would give you an opportunity to tell me what you think. And before you spend money on this software, because in my opinion, spending money on the software is essentially a roll of the dice as to whether or not you are throwing your money into a chipper shredder. Here are some examples of posts that I've seen on the forum over here. The Game Console Repair Group is full of posts from people complaining about being banned for having incompatible software, which basically means competitor software. Pedro. My name is Pedro Crespo. I've been repairing video game consoles and PCs for more than 20 years. I was a university professor of electronics, and I also do Arduino projects in my free time. I have no association with any store other than my own, Toth Games in Caracas, Venezuela. On March 28th, I was unjustly banned. In fact, I would say scammed by the man from BwE, BwE Electronics, from whom I had acquired a lifetime licenses in his different software. PS5 Code Reader, PS5 NOR-Tool, PS4 NOR Validator, and Syscon Patcher in its guide, NOBD Guide 005. The same day that I tried to access the BwE PS5 NOR-Tool software, but I couldn't since the antivirus deleted the new update that had been released, I had tried to deactivate the antivirus and internet and Windows protection to be able to open it, trusting him, so they've been using his products for a long time. Finally, when I was able to run it, it gave me the incompatible message. After several attempts, I connected another PS5 to my PC to check the error code, so I tried to use the BwE PS5 code reader and told me the same thing, incompatible. I contacted BwE to talk to them about my problem, and they replied that they were not available for 10 hours. My big surprise is that at 12:30 p.m. he answers, you are banned for your association with mod games. No need to wait. See ya. I have to clarify that I don't know nor do I have any dealings with the owner of Mod Games, much less have I had any association with them. So I write again to the owner of BwE, and he tells me that it is proven that I am in association with Mod Games without hesitation. Does this sound like anything else that I've said to be informative and unfortunate in the past, where the software developer might just be a little bit paranoid and I don't know, kick people off of software they bought and paid for perceived associations with someone that they don't like? Continuing down the list. So I write to the owner, and he tells me it is proven that I'm in association with Mod Games without hesitation, without giving me the benefit of the doubt. I keep trying to get him to check again. By the way, now I wonder, how does he do these checks on my PC? Which, by the way, are wrong because I have not had any dealings with Mod Games. Could it have to do with the temporary cancellation of my antivirus? Finally, he tells me to run his HWID generator. I calmed down because I was worried about losing my investment with BwE, which totaled more than $1,000, in addition to the jobs I was about to deliver to my clients. 20 minutes pass and the nightmare continues. He writes to me, so why are you using IDA? I tell you the truth. What is IDA? IDA. I immediately look on Google and see it's a software for reverse engineering. First, the only thing I program are my Arduino projects. I'm not a programmer per se, and I clarify that I've never used this software or any similar one. However, the man from BwE, being completely sure that I use IDA, was able to offend me by calling me a liar and saying you have IDA and you're lying about it. That's pretty fucking stupid to do. Goodbye. I keep insisting that he's wrong, but he confidently states, shut up, man. You're just making it worse for yourself. Somebody's making something worse for themselves, but well, let's continue. And my madness, I tell him to give him access to my PC with TeamViewer, but he says he wasn't assuming that he was sure. I'm also sure he somehow accessed my PC, by the way. Do you feel comfortable using software that does this type of shit? Where he's like, hey, I'm 100% certain I know what you were doing on your computer when you were running my closed source software. I'm not running that shit. I would not run anything like this on my computer. I don't suggest any of you do either. Anyway, I lost my investment, Mr. BwE, by not being right at all and unjustly banning me, which makes me think that his motive was simply to remove me from the lifetime license so he could charge me more in other ways, to make fun of me since everything what he says and claims is a huge lie and exercising superiority over others since I practically humiliated myself trying not to lose my tools. And then you have the message over here. To be clear, I do not think this is about the money to him. I genuinely believe, in my opinion, this is about a psychiatric disorder. I've said this in the past. I had a video on therapy in the beginning of February. Value yourself more than a broken MacBook. Everybody could use therapy. Some people could use therapy more than others. I could use therapy. Everybody could use a little bit of therapy. Some people need a little bit more therapy than others, but we could all use a little bit of therapy. It's like going to the gym. Everybody could use a little bit more cardio in their day. Anyway, get back to this. And then you have the messages, then you have others. Enjoy your ban from BwE with no reason. BwE is here anonymously. He's following this post and crying. He wrote me on WhatsApp asking, modify this post. My license has been revoked. And then, again, a lot of, you could obviously tell that there is a lot of aggravation towards this particular individual. Got hit with the BwE BS as well. Paid for his PS5 code reader software. After trying some of the free options, after a while, I was hit with the incompatible error. I went through and deleted old softwares I downloaded before buying a software and getting the message. But even after updating his software, I still got the same error. Ended up emailing him about it, and instead of fixing the issue, I was just accused of running the other software. I wasn't while running this. I could read all of those, but none of these are really the creme de la creme. What I want to read you are the emails back and forth with my best friend, Jessa Jones, accusing her of essentially pirating a software. One of the reasons that I find this funny is, again, to be clear, Jessa Jones is way smarter than me. She is a PhD in molecular genetics. She is a fucking genius. She is one of my best friends. That simultaneously, if you've ever seen her try to use a mouse and a keyboard, is the stereotype of your grandma trying to figure out how to use Linux. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I love Jessa Jones like a mom. She's like family to me. She's a genuinely good human being. She ain't pirated software. Like, she doesn't know how to use WinRAR like when the trial ends. She doesn't pirate software. Like, I saw her get accused of pirating this software. That's how I knew, like, this fucking shit went too far. It's not even a question of money or morals. She doesn't know. Like, when Jessa Jones thinks of piracy, she probably thinks of Johnny Depp. Like, anyway, I gotta read you this email chain because this is, in my opinion, fucking psychotic. Let's just get over to that. So this is an email chain, and the first thing you could see is just how fucking long this email chain goes through. He's got this psychotic desire to get the last word on everything, and I'm sure that you guys have met somebody like this that has to get the last word on everything. But let's take a look. Okay, so in this email alert, Jessa gets an email. I keep getting alerts that my program is being run in a modified state. If this continues, your account will be banned pursuant to the terms and conditions. And you see over here, Louis, we are using the program we paid for, 100% in accordance with the terms of service. We have zero interest in modifying, copying, exploring, or altering your intellectual property. I've made this clear in the past. Your threats are extremely unprofessional and inappropriate. Knock it off. And then it continues. I'm stating facts. If I get continued alerts, I will act on them. Be cognizant if you or something else continues to make modifications to my software. Jessa, Louis, I'm a friend. No one is modifying anything. At my shop, we fix a couple of PlayStations now and then casually. It's not our main focus. Your software is helpful like any other tool. To me, it's the same as a screwdriver. But for this screwdriver that we paid a couple of $100s for and own, I'm getting threatened by the manufacturer that they're going to come and take it away from me. Isn't this the very problem that you've spent your life trying to fight? Louis, I think you probably recognize that you have a problem with paranoia in your life. I know it doesn't feel good to constantly be unsure whether or not you're being screwed. That is a feature of borderline personality disorder, which is highly treatable. Would you allow me to privately connect you with someone who has also walked the path of paranoid overreactions and found some amazing tools that have, with hard work, helped him immensely? And then let's just continue scrolling. He says, I am not sure if you're aware, but I have thousands of customers, and with that comes thousands of very valid alerts for attempts of piracy, among other things. My paranoia, as you suggest, is merely a justified response to the reality of offering software in this industry. People generally don't want to pay. Those that want to pay want to share with their colleagues for free. Then there are the outliers which want to copy or profit off of my tools. I secure my applications because of this. If I didn't, I wouldn't have a business. You will not be treated any differently to anybody. If I get alerts, I will act on it. This is all outlined in the terms of conditions which you have accepted. By the way, suggesting I have a mental health issue because I'm warning you that you've triggered alerts is very insulting if that wasn't obvious already. We have never used your software that we purchased from you in any way other than as intended to diagnose the PlayStation 5. Your piracy alert system is flawed. It's invasive, unacceptable, and certainly not made clear at the moment of sale, and clearly does not work as intended. Nothing in your terms and conditions says, quote, I will take your money but not allow you to access the paid software if you accuse me of mental illness. Are you telling me that you are stealing $222 from me because I have accused you of extreme paranoia? Oh my God. And this continues. My alert system isn't flawed. It's extremely logical and basic. Program is hashed a compilation. If the hash is changed, it's modified. Impossible for this to be a mistake. My software alerts the user of this fact just in case it was the result of their own doing or by some interaction from another application. I have warned you about this and you have taken offense and insulted me. 14 and 15 of my terms and conditions state, BwE reserves the right to deny or revoke access to current and future services, software, and hardware for any reason. Reasoning may or may not be provided to you, but common causes are violation of these terms and conditions or abuse or misuse of software. Some revocation of access is automated or temporary and may be removed if a mistake is not warranted. The buyer, you have blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing over here. You can see if you want. You've accepted these terms. They were given you prior to making a license. They also were illustrated 14 times on the website prior to purchase. Now, again, one of the things about terms and conditions that I've talked about here, he has brought out in emails to me that my forum on my website actually has a similar terms and conditions. What you won't find over the last 9 years is me taking somebody's money on that forum and then banning them. I have banned spammers, but I don't ban people who are paying and not give them their money back. There's not a single instance of me doing that. When people see this, they are not assuming that this is they're not assuming that they are going to get in trouble because you run a competitor's software on their computer. When it comes to these terms of service and what is standard and non-standard, he actually had the gall to have an email exchange with me talking about this. He said, checking what software is running is an extremely common form of DRM. Games do it. Adobe does it. Everybody does it. It's a childish mindset to think that it's in any way malicious. I don't even see the software people use. I only see detections against my blacklist. And again, I responded to this by saying, there is having DRM, and then there's Adobe Premiere not working anymore because it saw me running Sony Vegas. Cut the shit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. For him to tell somebody that you're running this other software, so I'm revoking your license, like, again, there's pirating Adobe Premiere and then it not working. And then there's Adobe Premiere saying, it looks like you have DaVinci Resolve installed. You're banned. By the way, we're not giving you a refund. One is massively more fucked up than the other. Technically, the terms and conditions do say that either one of those are legally correct. But there's what's legally correct, and then there is what is morally and ethically correct. Technically, you could say that your terms of service may actually be legally correct. I am not a lawyer. I don't know. What I do know is that there are things I could do that would be fully within the terms and conditions set out on my online agreement that would simultaneously result in 60 people showing up outside of my store with rifles and pitchforks. And I don't try to just point at the letter of the law and use that as an excuse for what I'm doing being okay, when I realize that, again, from a moral and ethical standpoint, society is going to want to toss me off a bridge if I do that thing. There is what is legal and there is what is right. And to stand behind what is legal rather than what is right, in my opinion, is a cop-out for doing something that you know is fucked up. There is a genuine difference between this man's DRM and Adobe's. And either A, he knows it and he's bullshitting you, in my opinion, or B, he really doesn't know it. And again, we're going to go back to that comment on how some people need more therapy than others. Continuing this fucking email exchange. Just if we go back here, your alert system is flawed for one simple reason. We haven't made any changes and you are freaking out. What has changed? Your updates? That's it. This is a you problem. Instead of working with your customers to help you figure out what your own updates are doing to your outrageously invasive surveillance system, you accuse normal customers of bad behavior and rescind access to software that we legitimately paid for. And you could tell that Jess is starting to get more frustrated at this point, and I don't blame her for getting frustrated. And then they just kind of start going into a back and forth. We haven't made any change. Oh, what is it? I can't. Let's see. Then your system is flawed. It's not. Hash is checked. If hash changes, I get an alert. It's quite simple. Jessup. Then we disagree. We are left with a problem where you erroneously believe through inappropriate surveillance of my private property that normal use of a paid software tool is piracy. Everything was normal. You issued updates to the software, and now there's a problem. We don't have the bandwidth to spend time troubleshooting with you trying to track down how some interaction in a dynamic system changes the hash. The real problem is your strategy to control the use of a tool. It's not working. Normal users doing nothing wrong or losing access to software they paid for and use as directed. This isn't something that is isolated to me. The vast majority of people just want to fix a PlayStation, and we're seeing complaints of loss of access very common. Is this the experience you want for your customers? You're a smart guy. Find a different way to solve this problem. Here are some suggestions. 1. Sell annual or per-use licenses and host the software in a server controlled by you. Only allow a subset of power users that you personally know and trust to use a standalone version. 2. Establish some trust-based system. Ask the community for input on what this should look like. At a certain point, a trusted user can graduate out of access control. Until then, let people know that you're aware that the system will require periodic troubleshooting to resolve access control hash problems. 3. Require use of a dedicated machine that has no other software. 4. Automatically refund anyone that you decide to revoke access from. And again, to be clear, this is something that would really take the edge off. If you got banned from using a piece of software that you paid $200 for, and you got your $200 back, you're going to be pissed, but the edge will be taken off of the pain there in a way that it is not dulled when you have lost $1,000 worth of software because of one man who seems to have a very, very paranoid personality disorder. Is that me? Oh, never mind. She counted 4 twice. Really? This is what they teach you when you get a PhD, huh, Jessa? Anyway. 5. Stop caring about this. It never ends well. Consider your own lost revenue from the ill will generated by each person who feels compelled to file a chargeback. Already you've lost thousands. Is it worth it? A strong recommendation within the repair community was within your grasp before these piracy issues came up. In the past, when an innovative tool such as the TriStar tester was promoted within the U.S. repair community, it was adopted by every single repair shop in America, including all the franchises. We just had our annual conference, and there was zero mention of BwE software, other than negative talk about the access control. What a massive missed opportunity. Game console repair is hot right now. No one can promote you because too many people are having a negative experience with you over these issues. Is it worth it? You're close to the tipping point where you will get negatively recommended. And I believe Jessa has a genuine point here. And then this email chain just fucking continues. You are walking... Oh, what is it? I do not erroneously believe anything. It's a belief system. It's not a belief system. It's a DRM system. Inappropriate surveillance? It's a DRM system. I update all sorts of things in the update. And essentially at this point, they're really just going back and forth. And she says, you're walking away from tens of thousands of dollars. I hope you're someday able to find peace from this paranoia. Mental illness sucks. I think Jessa at this point is getting frustrated, and you're figuring out that her PhD is in molecular genetics and not psychology. And he goes over terms of service, and again, they're going over terms of service. This is the funny part. I tried to help you. I offered you some advice on how to stop alienating your customers and instead sell the content you created using stolen information every repair shop in America. You chose to be defensive and now double down on the idea that it's acceptable to scan the PCs of anyone that purchased your software and point to unenforceable, made-up terms and conditions that hold no legal weight anywhere in the world. You are profiting from selling information that you did not generate but receive from others. Because this is how you operate, you readily assume that your customers want to steal from you. Fuck it! Ouch! Jessa Jones laying down the gavel right there. This is particularly hypocritical because this information belongs to Sony, and the entire point of this software is to be able to work without the control of Sony, which is true. This software exists so that people don't have to live under Sony's thumb. After reading all of this, if I had an issue with a PlayStation, I just fucking take it to Sony at this point rather than deal with this guy's bullshit or deal with a shop that's dealing with this software. Just from I really do have to think to myself at this point, who do I hate more, Sony or him? At least Sony are upfront about the fact that they're cunts. Yeah, we have rootkits in our CDs. What are you going to do about it? I mentioned earlier that you were near the tipping point where the repair community would not only not recommend your software, but actively campaign against it. Sadly, you've crossed the threshold to the choices that you've made today. And again, anybody who reads this email chain, I do not imagine is going to invest any money in this gentleman's software. And speaking of investing money in software, we're going to be talking about that close to the end of the video. It doesn't matter what illegal, unenforceable terms and conditions say. This is the same as saying you must wear a purple hat while using the software. It's made up and not binding, so who cares? My beef with you is about the harm you're doing to the repair community. My goal is to help you find a better way to relate your business to customers so we can promote your product. I do think you have some things to work on in the social realm, and I think you know that. I get this comes across as really condescending, but I've recently seen someone close to me solve similar paranoia and invasive thoughts. Right now, I'm a bit of an evangelist about it. You don't seem to have any remorse or desire to change so that this can end well. Sadly, that means this won't end well. I meant well, but you have made your choice. And it's just continuing to... Yeah, this is funny. So this is also that narcissistic bargaining shit. So rather than resolving the matter with me, given the ban is not permanent, you just continue to argue and be vexatious. So what he's doing there is he's literally saying, we're about to ban you, but I can dangle this little carrot in front of you of, if you do the right thing and you say the right thing, maybe you could keep using the software that you paid for. Oh my, it just goes, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And like, I feel myself becoming less mentally regulated as I read this. The last email that she sent was an interesting one. How have you meant by insulting me? Well, by insulting me. I would love a cogent response to that. To give all the details and telling someone how they have mental illness a helpful thing. I warn you about misuse means I'm apparently suffering from a serious mental illness. And just to be clear, how many people who are watching this video over the experience of their life, again, 2 million subscribers, how many comment in the chat if you have had the CEO of Adobe email you because you had Vegas installed in your computer? Have any of you received an email from the CEO of WinRAR because you had, some other WinZip or 7-Zip installed in your computer? This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. And if this type of stuff happens, it tends to mean that the person who's making the software, who's monitoring this shit, might be a little cuckoo. Now, you could take it as an insult if you want, but the facts are you're throwing away tens of thousands of dollars by choosing to alienate dozens of well-meaning users. That's not a logical choice based in reason. I've seen this before and it's progressed in a really scary way. You also seem to flip back and forth from extreme defensiveness and paranoia to a more reasonable position. That's a hallmark of borderline personality disorder. BPD makes you easily see the world as hostile threats, but then second guess yourself, then worry you're being gaslighted. I have a couple of friends with this, one in treatment and one in not. The one in treatment has made amazing progress, the other has blown up his family and is now divorcing. Maybe you don't have this disorder, but if you do, it can be so difficult to find effective treatment. I'd like to share some things that work for my friends simply because I'm a connector of people. These observations are completely independent of my views of how you're managing selling software to repair people. The point of legitimate terms and conditions are that they're enforceable, have legal standing, and would hold up in a court, are therefore legally binding. I'm not sure what you're attempting to prevent with this DRM stuff. If it's I don't want to sell software and then have someone who didn't pay me use it, fair enough. You won't be able to prevent someone from installing your software, inviting all their friends over and plugging in their broken PlayStations to see what's wrong. You won't be able to prevent a single user from offering a well-done mail-in repair center for a group of many businesses that would have otherwise seen even individual customers. But you can prevent someone from simply sharing a digital.exe of the software and posting it on the internet. This is beyond my expertise, but it seems like I've seen this solved in the past by requiring a physical dongle or a server based on credentialing. It's definitely possible without the invasive methods you're using. Hell, our Celebrite premium subscription that is $100,000 a year doesn't give us a hard time like you. Other forensic software is geofenced, another possible solution. This, in addition to everything else I've said before, is why I'm 110% certain that Jessa does not pirate this. This does not cost enough money to be pirated if you look at everything else that is present at her business. If you're trying to prevent another developer from copying the content, I don't think you'll be able to do that either by force. Anyone that cared enough could put together a crowdsourced initiative to gather what specific details people find valuable here and then write their own UART analyzer. They could even create a consortium to actively research this information experimentally. I think today you've tipped the threshold so that the repair community is going to put some funding towards that initiative because you've pissed off so many people. I don't believe that you've experimentally determined the content in your software entirely by yourself. I think you likely have access to insider information from any number of private sources that you've accumulated over the years. Those will be difficult to find, but the internet loves to fight a villain and can be quite resourceful. I'm sure you could see some of those wheels starting to turn. If you wanted to protect yourself, my advice is to accept that protection will be incomplete. Then create a dongle or login access-based control as others do. And mostly, stop being a dick to people. That last one is key. No one is going to want to put in the work to either track down insiders or manually research every PlayStation fault error code to create a competitor. Don't give them fuel to push people to do this. The internet is a wild beast when they smell a villain. And right now, that's you. Issue some sort of big apology and drop the DRM nonsense. Maybe even join the good guys and work on a funded project with Repair Preservation Group to maintain and create a free version. And that's where we're coming to this today. Hey everybody, how's it going? Do you guys know that I run a nonprofit called Repair Preservation Group? And that nonprofit was funded about a couple of years ago with the entire purpose of creating educational tools and things that can be used for the repair of consumer electronics. Yeah, so what I'd like to do is I would like to organize some people and figure out how to create an open source version of this tool that does not abuse people. And I'm willing to put in $10, $20, maybe even $30,000 into the project because this is obviously a problem. I have gotten so many fucking emails from people that said they have been banned from this software. What has happened here, because there is a monopoly on this little point in the industry, is that somebody has decided that they now have the ability and the authority to become a petty tyrant. I don't like petty tyrants. I don't like bullies. I have always disliked bullies my entire life, whether they are bullies from the manufacturer or whether they're bullies in my own fucking community. I am made sick by the idea that this industry that stands for giving people back freedom over their devices is taking away people's freedom to run the software they want on their computers. It makes me sick. The idea that Jessa paid for the software and is being banned from it when she has done nothing wrong, enough is enough. I'll be honest, to be clear, I am not a software developer and I am not a software manager. We're going to have to work this stuff out as we go. But what I can tell you is that I have a link down below to a Zulip channel. I no longer use Discord because Discord, I literally can't log in because I have to hit this fucking agree button for forced arbitration, which I'm refusing to do. I'm going to be checking this periodically. I'm going to be a little bit busy until Tuesday, so I'm not going to be able to get back to everybody. I have returned about 3 or 4 emails from very promising individuals, but I want to invest real money into this. And when we do invest that real money into it, I would like to make whatever we make available 100% for free. No subscription, no payment, no license, no DRM, no dongle, no bullshit. You use it and it works. I don't like seeing this. This makes me sick. This industry provided me with everything. It provided me with economic stability. It provided me with economic freedom. It provided me with the feeling that I was doing good for the world. It provided me a means to make people happy, to watch people that were getting bills for $2,000 and be able to make them feel stress-free. All your data's back. It's only going to be $200. And it's provided for me. I bought this house. I bought my car. I have my life because of this industry. And to see people giving it a bad name makes me feel physically ill. We are supposed to be united against the tyranny of the manufacturers. The tyrants are not supposed to be in our own industry. And if they are going to be in our own industry, it's about time that we weed them out. Nobody wants to look through and find all this stuff. Like, nobody wants to find all of that information to create a new tool. It's way too much work. They would rather just pay $200 or $400 or $600 for somebody else to do it. But what gets the internet really riled up? A villain. This dude is like, I do not know how else to describe it. I really don't. Like, this person is actively trolling paying customers, fucking with them, and taking away shit that they bought and paid for. And I think it's fundamentally unacceptable. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And I will include a link, in addition to my own Zulip down below, I will also include a link to the terms and conditions on his website and also his responses in order to be fair to him so that you can read everything that he has to say. Me personally, I do believe you should hear both sides to every story, and I do want you to read his. And I'm actually excited for you to read his because I think he thinks he's defending himself. And again, when you read the defenses, anyway, I'll let it be. I'll include the links down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.